All right, everybody. Welcome. This is a new episode of Tacos en Europa. My name is Jorge.
My name is Edson.
This is the podcast where we talk all things Mexicans in Europe, all the football, all the goals, all the assists, and ENG. Man, we have a great second week in a row. How do you feel about that, man?
Yeah, it's rather good. I mean, we always have something to talk about in the Netherlands. Like Mexicans there do fine
Every week.
But we have a little bit in Spain and in Italy, and not from the usuals, which is great.
This is going to be the unusual suspects episode because we have some people here that was a surprise for sure. So before we begin, I want to let the people know that they can find us in YouTube or on any other favorite platforms for podcasts. We're on anybody, just search Tacos en Europa. You can also find us on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, on all the social media platforms. We're also on Reddit, which have a user that wanted us to give him a shout out. His name is Roberto from Reddit. And we talk to people out there. So if you guys want to, talk to people or, talk to us about tactics or anything you like about the podcast, let us know. And you guys will see us there.
No, but seriously, we are very lonely.
Extremely bored. All right, okay, let's kick it off with the Premier League. And we're not going to stay here long because Raul Jimenez isn't even called up once again for the match against Bedford.
He's probably for sure going to get moved this summer. He needs to go.
Yeah, the next window, he's out of this team. We're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end, at the news that we have there. But let's go to Spain real quick and talk about Guardado, Inge. They play against Espanyol. Betis wins 3-1. Let's talk about Betis first. Guardado plays 89 minutes. How did you see him?
I didn't. I actually watched the game, but I didn't see Guardado. That's how it went.
Yeah.
You couldn't even say he had a bad game. He just was not involved.
Yeah, that's like, what it is to me. It wasn't a bad game and it wasn't a good game. Like you can't really disqualify it too much.
Yeah, the game was played on the wings, especially on the side of Espanyol, and Guardado was playing sometimes behind Guido Rodriguez. That's how far back. I think the order was to play it like the launcher, like giving long passes, but the catapult. But not even that. The game was just play on.
I think he had like one of five long balls in this match.
Yeah.
But it was, for him, it was an okay game, but Betis really needed this win. They're a little closer to the goal of getting to the Champions League.
Both of them needed them.
Both of them, but I think Betis, I don't even know who needs it more, actually. They both have that goal. But they're a little closer to Champions League now. Their rivals lost, which is Rayo Vallecano.
Real and Villarreal.
Yeah, Real Sociedad and Villarreal. So it was a good week for them. But Espanyol, going over to the other side, we have Cesar Montes, their center back. Man. Golazo, Inge. Golazo.
I mean, it was a scissor kick with the left foot, and just, I don't know, he looked like a giraffe falling out and just scoring a goal somehow.
It was great. And it happened. It happened.
Yeah, he played a fine game in both sides. He scored a goal, but also he did okay on defense, even though he was like in all the pictures of the 3 goals. Like, he's behind the attacker and everything because he was trying to cover everywhere because the rest of the team wasn't.
The first one was a cross that literally went by all 4 of the defense. Like all 4 of the defensive players literally just went through it and reached the striker to get the goal. So it was definitely bad. When the other 2 were literally just in his face, where he wasn't the main defender that was covering the play, but he came over to help out and he just didn't make it in time.
Yeah, I was telling in one of the goals he was covering 3 people.
Yeah,
like he was with I don't remember if it was Borja or someone else. He was with the striker from Betis and then changed up to go with a midfielder and then had to cover the winger that ended up scoring because the fullback just wasn't there. I mean, you can't cover 3 people.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
To me, just to wrap it up, I think he was pretty bad in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, but in the second one after the goal, he kind of became more inspired. He started blocking a lot of these shots. He started killing a lot of the tags, and either way, they still scored that third goal after that. But he did look a little better at least.
Yeah, and the confidence helped him.
Yeah. Going over with Sevilla, we have Tecatito, who was on the bench against Valencia. Sevilla wins 2-0, if I'm not mistaken, but Tecatito's nowhere to be seen.
They have a good amount of points behind the relegation zone, so I think Sevilla is staying.
Yeah,
thankfully.
I think they're safe for now, so I think it should stay like that, though. So let's go over to the second division, ENG, with Real Oviedo, who does not play Marcelo in this game. I believe they tied, if I am not mistaken. But the news is always, in Sporting, Real Sporting. We have Jordan Carrillo versus Deportivo Alvarez. They have a 0-0 tie, unfair 0-0 tie. But he comes in the 64th minute. And, I mean, it's always that dynamism that he gives them, that amazing link-up play with all his teammates. He has two really great plays. The first one where he dribbles around, like, 3 defenders, and then he shoots the ball, like, to the moon. And then the second one...
like 3/4 of a great play.
Yeah, it was 3/4 of a goal. And then the second one, it was actually, like, a pre-assist where he receives the ball in the midfield. He sees his teammate in the right wing, catches him, first touch to the other guy, to score it. And then they called an offsides because of a previous play that was like barely offsides, which it was kind of unfair if you ask me. I think it was a little nitpicky.
Yeah, but you have to it's whatever. But still, it's good to see Carrillo playing as well as he's been playing. But also, like, the fans are trying to warm up to him. Like, they love him. They like when he's on the field.
Yeah, they love to see him. There's like a bunch of posters about him and stuff like that. A lot of people see him as a very like good young prospect, just as he is for our national team. So hopefully he keeps on growing there. But let's go over to Italy and start talking about Napoli with Chucky. Let's start off with the Champions League with Milan 1-0 loss. Okay.
Yeah.
Very disheartening 1-0 loss.
Yeah, it was a fine game, a tactical game. It was a chess match between the coaches, and it was really, really interesting, even though Napoli lost, as you said.
Yeah, and we had a 69 minutes from Chucky Lozano, and like the best part of this like game, or I guess the most interesting part from Chucky's game, was his battle with Hernandez.
Yeah, as I was saying, it was a chess match, and the decision that Spalletti made with Lozano was to pin him on the right.
Yeah.
Like, to try to play Napoli on the left wing and on the middle, on the middle channel, and use Lozano as a threat in counterattack. Just having both Teo Hernandez and sometimes even Leao just not be free from the threat of Lozano.
Yeah.
And he constantly was pinned to the right. So Teo Hernandez never could help on the attack. And it was a lot of hitting and hitting back. So it was very interesting to see just how much Milan lost with Teo. But still, Napoli was very toothless. Because without Osimhen, they were struggling. Elmas as a false 9 did not work on the attack.
Yeah, I mean, they played without Osimhen, they played without Gavicha, and without Lozano because they were both shut down.
No. That was bueno. Kvaratskhelia had 2 very clear chances on goal. Like one on the first minute and another 15. But still, the game was up there.
It was intense.
It was a really good game.
Intense. Unfortunately, it does end in a loss 1-0. And they have to go to the next game, the second leg. With this loss, which is not the most terrible of scoreboards, so it's still a chance. It's still a chance.
Oh, especially if they're gonna play it at home on the Maradona, and Osimhen's gonna be back, and he already played some minutes on the Hellas Verona's game where they tied.
So it's painting like a comeback. We're not gonna say anything yet, but it could be possible.
Hopefully.
All right, and then on Saturday in the weekend we have a game against Hellas Verona. This time we're able to sort of see Chucky be like one of the main points of focus in the attack. He plays on the left. There's no Kivicha, there's no Osimhen.
I mean, that's what we thought.
Well, that's what we thought when we saw a lineup. And there's no Kivicha, no Osimhen. It's only him and Raspadori. And we're thinking, this is it. Like, this is where Chucky shows, what he is.
Yeah, the hat trick is coming. And
we already come. It's a relegation team. We said, this is it. And nothing. I cannot give you one stat that he did well. Like, there's no stat that was, outstanding or anything.
No, he didn't do anything at all. The team looked like rattled still from the losses for against Milan, and in general, toothless in the attack. Politano was trying some things, but nothing worked.
Yeah.
It was really strange to see a team go from playing that as well as they were playing to this.
Yeah. He played on the left and he was really trying to like play that long game, and they weren't tracking those runs for him. You know, they weren't finding him in the long ball. They were playing a lot on the right side. So we did see him walking for a lot of the game, which is always disheartening to see, you know,
Yeah.
but it just was not a good game. It wasn't a good week, to be honest, for Chucky Lozano right now, but we'll see when he has his partners in crime for the next game. Maybe it'll be a different story. But
Hopefully.
let's go to the first surprise of, well, second, because Joe Curry was a pretty nice treat to have. But Johan Vasquez in Cremonese ENG. They win 1-0, the third win of the season, second consecutive win.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game from Johan, and he was playing on the right side somehow.
Beautiful game. Yeah, like, and we were talking about in the Spanish version that you can't tell a left-footed center back to play on the right. It almost never works.
Never. It's like a rule of thumb that a right-footed center back can play on the left, but on the right, a left-footed center back is always going to struggle. And he did beautifully, like perfectly. And he's super left-footed.
Yeah.
He doesn't use like the right one, not even to stop himself from falling.
Yeah,
he's really left-footed.
Like, debatably, you could say that he was the best center back, like, in the game, on the field. You know, he ends up with like 5 clearances, 2 blocks, 1 interception, 6 tackles, and 9 out of 10 duels. 9 out of 10 duels.
Yeah, he almost had a perfect game. That's how good it was. He was like 5 passes and the 2 duels. That was the only thing that he failed.
Yeah, and I mean the passes
incredible.
His was 76% of passes, which we always talk about for him. Anything above 60 is amazing for Johan. He was above 75 right now. So
yeah,
amazing game by Johan Vasquez.
Yeah, hopefully he can keep it up, because Cremonese, they're on a mission to keep alive, and hopefully they do. They're a fantastic black horse.
Yeah.
Like I root for them. Like,
and
really,
if they don't make
really
out the relegation zone, they want to make whoever they can just bleed.
Yeah, they're not going. They're not going quietly to that good night.
Just woke up and chose violence. We have Salernitana, Memo Ochoa versus Torino Inge. 1-1 tie. He plays 90, obviously. He has 4 stops in the game, and 4 of them are inside of the area. But they do score 1 goal on him, which was kind of a funny situation.
Kind of, because it was, again, a failure of the defense where when an attacker ends up alone with the keeper...
At the penalty spot.
Yeah, at the penalty spot, it's frankly a failure of the defense. And he didn't look great, because he was just like traveling to the left, and the guy stroked to the right, and Memo was just like squatting, watching the ball go, and slowly falling the other way.
Yeah, it was like
it
if you shut
great, but it happens.
Yeah, if you mute it and you put like a little grunt, that's what he sounded like. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it was hilarious, man.
Like I keep telling you, that's how it sounds when either of us just stand up. Like,
yeah, like he was like, I didn't make it. It's too late. It's gone. But I mean, it was a pretty good game from him. You know, the fans love him. The fans are proud to have him on the team. We talked about this in the other one as well, that I don't like how people say, are like, oh, like people don't value him in Mexico, this and that, and like in Italy, like everybody loves him. I don't think that's the case, you know, because what we saw in America was not the same thing that we saw here in Salernitana. You know, it's not the same situation.
But still, I mean, Memo, he's always been him. You know, like his strengths and his failures, he's had them for 20 years as a professional player. And honestly, we don't know how to love players in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, we all love Raúl, what he was scoring, but as soon as he injured himself, he was dead to us.
Yeah.
We're awful. We're awful.
I still sing for him, man.
No,
I'm not giving up.
You know,
yeah,
the royal
in general. Yeah, but I mean, even with Memo, like, I think everybody has always thanked him, you know, for everything he's done with the World Cup. I think everybody has always held him to a big pedestal. You know, it was just that time in America where like they were just saying like it's not the same. which it wasn't a lie because, you know, it was easy to say that, like, at the time, Acevedo was a better goalkeeper in the league. So you wanted to see what he could do. You wanted to, like, you were asking for his name, things like that. But now, like, we're seeing a completely different story.
Yeah, it's what happens when a keeper has to stop like 5-10 shots a game. You know, it's what happened to Jurado when he was playing in Veracruz. He was the best keeper in the goal. He was stopping 15 shots a game, getting score 7, but still.
Yeah.
And then you move him to Cruz Azul where he has to stop 1 or 2 shots a game, and he's a loser.
Yeah,
you know?
It is not working out. So yeah, it just depends on the situation. I think we have to just keep that in mind a lot. You know, like it's not always as it seems. So I think it's a good rule of thumb.
The context is important. I mean, even Jurado, I still root for him. I want him to go somewhere else where he's gonna get playtime. But you know, it is what it is.
Definitely need the keepers. But all right, ENG, let's go over to the Netherlands with Feyenoord, Eredivisie, Santi Jimenez.
The promised land of the Mexican player.
The promised land. This is Mexico too. We have Santi Jimenez.
No. The best league to watch Mexican play football is not Liga MX. It's the Eredivisie.
Okay,
that's what it is.
Mexico won. Santi Jimenez versus Roma. They actually win this game 1-0 in the Europa League on Thursday. And I mean, Santi struggled a little bit. He played 83. But tell us how you saw him.
Yeah, we were saying like, oh, he broke his chain of games scoring.
Yeah, he has 6.
Like we were saying. But still, what I saw from him was a very hard played game. He was fighting with 3 center backs. He all game took Alvarez and the middle center back, I don't remember the name, like he just was dragging them to the left, to the right, to the back, to the front, to make space for Kokshu, for Simanski, for Idrissi, I don't remember, Paxiao, I think was the one played on the right. So his game was just creating space. You know, it's a thankless role, it's a hard role, it can mess with your head because frankly it doesn't like reflect on the stats.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even had 1 shot on goal.
Yeah, 0 shots. He was being marked at all times during this game. He had 1 key pass, which was probably the one good stat that we could muster up from him. But yeah, it was a very tough game. You know, he couldn't really maneuver the ball too much. But the good thing is that Feyenoord leaves this game with a 1-goal advantage in the league. We have Santi Jimenez versus Cambuur. A victory of 3-0. And of course, it's not even that exciting anymore. A goal. I feel like we lost like all excitement in our bodies for that.
Like we're too used to him scoring, but there's a lot to say because it was the ugliest goal you ever did see from him. It was a Chicharito goal all around.
Yeah, in Reddit we talked to people. A lot of people were calling it a Chicharito homage. You know, because it was terrible. It was the worst. It was like literally just right place, right time, and just let the ball hit you and then go for the best.
Yeah, he was falling, just stepping the foot away and just driving it right to the net.
But a goal's a goal, and his chain ends in consecutive games, but his chain in the league continues, and man, he's still in amazing form. He has 11 in the league. He's 3 away from tying the top scorer, which is Xavi, who has 14. So looking good. It's looking good.
Yeah.
He ends up with 4 other shots that are outside and then 1 key pass in his game as well.
Yeah, it was a normal game. Like Cambuur is not the strongest on the league, and they're going down, I think. So it was just like get the 3 points and rest to go to Roma and get the shit kicked out of you by Mourinho.
They took all the midfielders out in like the 50 or something, like the 60 or something. Like they said, like, let's go home, guys. Wrap it up.
It's going to be a great game next week.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the next one. You get Ajax. We have the second curious case of the week. Let's start with Edson Alvarez, though, with FC Emmen. 3-1 victory. He plays 90 minutes, and he plays as a left center back once again. He does it mighty well, but he does have 2 big errors.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet game for him because not only did he play well, but I got an assist. That a center back with an assist is a different thing. That's the thing to do with, especially when it's not a header, you know.
Yeah.
And oof, the yellow he gets just is gonna take him out from the next week game against PSV.
Yeah, and they're fighting to get that second place, you know, and fight to still be on the race for the first place. So that's going to be a very important game. He misses it. That was the first mistake I was talking about. The second one is going to be that he does lose, like, the mark that turns the assist for the goal that they get scored on. So it was a little bit of a rough game, but they still got the win, which is what matters for now. Jorge Sanchez, ENG.
I mean, I did say Edson Alvarez gave an assist. What I did not say was who scored it.
So who scored it? Was it?
It was Jorge Sanchez, who played like 2 weeks ago. We said he had his best game in an Ajax shirt, right?
Yeah.
So this is the new best game in an Ajax shirt for Jorge Sanchez.
2 good games in a row that we hadn't seen before.
No good. Great.
Little details, but yeah, it was really good. It was great. We have a goal and an assist, ENG, and man, he also ends up with some pretty good numbers. He has a clearance, 2 interceptions, 3 tackles, and 4 out of 8 duels. He ends up with 90% of his passes, 2 key passes, and another shot on target that was pretty damn dangerous.
Yeah, but the read that the stats don't give you are twofold. You know, like there's something good and something bad. That is, the game almost always was dangerous when Jorge Sanchez was with the ball on Neman's side of the field.
Yeah.
Like him and Berwith were having a great partnership this game and the last game. And I mean, whenever they try something from Ajax, they say like, I don't know, man, just give it to Sanchez. He's on fire today.
He'll figure it out today.
And he did. He played such a well game. Running the wing and then cutting inside, sometimes playing behind Berwith, it was great.
Yeah.
But on the other side, what the stats don't give you is how unsure he is on the defense.
Yeah.
Like he lost his marks in very important phases in the game. So
that's the stuff that you're not going to see, you know, when he kind of like, he doesn't get there on time, or like he loses the guy that he's chasing, or, you know, little things like that aren't going to show up on the sheet, which is stuff that he still needs to work on. But, you know, that doesn't take away from the great game. It does take a little bit away from the great game he had, but we also need to, like, express that he still needs to work on some parts of his game, you know?
Yeah, but to be fair, it's also, he's playing so aggressively that, of course, he's always going to have space behind him.
It could be instructions from the coach, you know? It could be just don't worry about that. Well, we got your back. Just help us out up there, you know?
Yeah, the problem is the midfield is not going to cover for him. As I say, the midfield from Ajax, it's better when Edson is not there.
We're going to see what's going to happen next match against PSV. But for now, we had the Mexican connection.
Great.
Yeah. We had the Mexican connection with this assist and a king of the match which is Mexican again. So it was a great thing to see. PSV, Eric Gutierrez, Volendam, 3-2 victory. Eric Gutierrez starts and somehow becomes, again, like a respective starter for this team. He plays 90 minutes. How did he play?
This is like the 4th or 3rd game in a row with him getting on the score sheet, right?
Yeah.
He didn't score, but he got a center back's assist, as you could call it. You know, like just keeping the ball alive with a feather in a corner kick, and great game from him. He's playing as a full-on defensive midfielder. Like, I don't know how they bench Sangare and the team just plays way better without him.
It worked out. It worked out so well. I was talking about, I don't know how much it has to do that. I think he gets along really well with his teammates. You know, you see like things of them like hanging out, stuff like that. So I don't know how much that involves into the chemistry, but like it's a completely different season right now for PSV. Like complete just 180 from what we saw at the beginning, if you remember, when they had all the injuries and they were trying to figure out how to use the midfield.
Not even the beginning. Whatever happened after they sold Gakpo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there was like a month where they look abysmal.
Yeah, and they had the injuries too, so it was like it was really weird to figure out how to move these pieces. But now, like they're looking great. I'm scared for Ajax. I'm scared for Ajax next week,
especially with the next game without Edson.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be a great game to watch.
But yeah, we have here a partidazo. He has four tackles, one interception, 12 on 19 duels, ends up with 87% of his passes, 2 key passes, and 6 out of 8 long balls. 6 out of 8.
The good
That's
ones.
a Guardado special.
Yeah.
We had one Guardado do good today, at least.
That's right. That's especially the Guardado kind of game he has.
Yeah, if only he would have showed up in Argentina. Okay, so KRC Genk in Belgium versus Anderlecht. They get 5-2. They win this game. And we have a very quiet game from Arteaga. You know, he plays a 90. He does well in the outfield of the game, you know, in the outfield parts of the game. But the defense, man, he's directly involved in the 2 goals that are scored. So it's tough to give him a good qualification for this one.
Yeah, you can say he had a good game, even though he had good numbers on the attack. But, I mean, when they score 2 on you and both come from your back, it's your fault, man.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. But it is a very important...
Still, Genk wins.
It's an important win for Genk. That's what matters right here for the team, because they get that cushion still to the first place, because the playoffs about to start in like 1 or 2 match days. They're going to start playing the playoffs. Right, you can tell me a little bit about Orbelín Pineda with AEK Athens. I know we had a slow week with them.
Yeah, they only played the second leg of the Cup semifinals, and it was a game. It was there.
Somewhere.
Olympiacos is not on great form. Even though they won against Athens in this game 2-1, the global ends up 4-2. And Orbelín had a game. It was fine. I mean, honestly, it was difficult to watch because no one watches this cup.
Only Greek people could watch that. They have to literally ask you for your passport. If it wasn't Greek, you can't see it.
So still, it's great for Athens to go to a final against PAIOK.
PAIOK. That team.
PAOK. So still, they're doing fine on the playoffs. They are tied with Panathinaikos. Hopefully, they can win. And I mean, Orbelín could take on the Tubal.
Yeah.
And not the treble, the Tubal.
The Tubal. The double. Yeah. The playoffs gonna be interesting because the first one to not win a game, if somebody ties or loses, it's over. Whether it's Panathinaikos or Athens. So we're going to be watching that very, very closely to see who is going to end up with that trophy. Poland Inge Santiago Naveda touches the field again, only for like 5 minutes, like the added time that they gave for the game.
It was like 10.
Yeah.
But still, they were just there. I think they won the game 1-0, and they were playing like 12 people on their box.
Yeah.
You know, even the coach was trying to stop.
Yeah, there was not too much to come from him, but again, like we said, this team's going to get relegated. Not much to see here. Favorite player of the match, say Inge. Do it. Say it.
This is a sad day for Mexicans because the best one, you can say anyone but Jorge Sanchez.
It has to be.
He had a great game.
Yeah, an amazing game. Actually, we missed on the first one, but a contender could be Johan Vázquez because he had a monster game. But I mean, a goal and an assist, like, you have to. And we don't know when else is going to happen again, so we have to give it to Jorge Sanchez. We have to.
Yeah, you're right.
So we're going to go ahead and do a unanimous decision for that one. The game of the weekend here, what did you like to see today?
Oh, I love Milan-Napoli.
The Champions League?
It was a tactician game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty fun one to see. I'm going to go with the other UEFA team, which is going to be the Europa League, Feyenoord versus Roma, where we actually got a Mexican win.
Yeah.
All right, Inge, what you got for us this week? What kind of news did you find?
In the news, we have a couple of like old Mexicans that want to go to somewhere to play, to some place in Europe. Like old Mexicans that are younger than me, but okay. That's Héctor Herrera that's trying to hint that he would like to go to Porto.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, Porto, I have such a good time there. I love the fans. They love me. Oh, I could always go back to Porto. Even though Porto is like, who this? New phone.
Yeah, he's had a little PR to increase his value. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he wants to go get called up again. But what else did you find?
And the other Mexican trying to move in Europe, it's that Raúl is being looked after by the Eagles, even though those are not from American, but Besiktas,
The
like
Besiktas.
in the Turkish league.
Yeah, which I don't think would be a bad move. I think maybe go into a
Yeah.
lower tier league, like the Besiktas, or going to like France or even like the Netherlands, where all Mexicans are going to play well. It'll be good to see him in Europe still. He doesn't have to go back to Mexico or MLS or
Yeah.
whatever. I think it'd be cool.
Especially because Besiktas is a team that strives to play in Europe and hurt big teams. Like that's their league, to say it. But still, Raúl is in really good form. He's just isn't scoring.
Yeah.
Like I feel as soon as he scores one, the floodgates are gonna come up. Like I feel right now it's mental.
Yeah.
So hopefully that breaks. And the other thing is Jesus Hernandez, the ex Querétaro, is on the youth divisions of Elche, is scoring. Just he can't stop scoring. He's doing great.
Like a little Santi, little mini Santi going on over there.
Yeah, and he's younger. He's like 19 or 18 years old.
Yeah.
Great.
They just can't stop doing it. Last thing, we had the Futures Cup over in Ajax. They actually invited Pachuca to join this tournament. I believe there was like a video that Ajax has on YouTube where they have like the top 10 goals of the tournament, and number 4 is going to be a Pachuca player. So if you guys want to go check that out, they even played against Mini Mbappe. They played against a little brother. He was out there and that was with Paris. But I mean, it's an interesting little fact just for people that are interested.
Yeah, that's good for Pachuca, especially because they create so much young talent, even though they're struggling right now in the league. Like, oof,
Yeah.
they're doing bad.
Yeah, but I believe that's all we have for today. That's all the time we have. But other than that, if you guys want to hear more, be sure to follow us, everywhere we told you guys, all the social medias, all the YouTube, everything, so you can find out all the info about the Mexican soccer players in Europe and much more. Thank you for listening. My name is Jorge.
My name is Edgar.
You guys have a great week. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Get Jonathan Herrera to PSV.